Hey, 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 welcome back, Confident Business Women, and anybody who are following. You're probably really into business ownership, intuitiveness, following your guidance, starting a business, who knows. Hello and happy Monday, YouTube family. Maria here to talk about goals for 2021. Speaking of which, a goal of mine is to grow my channel. So please, 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 please support by hitting the subscribe button below and the bell icon. Thank you in advance. So today I want to talk about goals 2021 and how to know you're doing the right thing, how to know what you're going to be doing and planning out for 2021 is the thing that you're supposed to be doing. How do you know? How do you know you're doing the right thing? So the cool thing about knowing the right thing and knowing whether you made the right decision and following whatever it is that you're doing, it's all about how you feel about what you're doing, right? How do you feel about the thing you're doing and working on all the time? Do you feel good when you're doing it? Do you feel good if you think about 2021? Do you feel good about the things you're going to do in 2021 and the things that you're going to be having, receiving, attracting, and asking for to show up in your life in 2021? Do you feel good about it? Do you feel good about it? So that's like the biggest questions. Do you feel good about receiving the thing you're asking for in 2021? So let's say you decided that you want to go into a different career, right? Does that feel good to you? Does it feel good to change up your career and see whatever this new endeavor is going to offer and what kind of profound shift it's going to have in your life and in your relationships and relationships with yourself, right? So one of the biggest things about going into a new year is that I do a lot of journaling. Anyway, in general, I do a ton of journaling. But specifically before the end of the year, I always like to journal and reflect on my year. I reflect on what I've accomplished. I reflect on what I have not accomplished. I reflect on the connections I've made. I reflect on all the things that I was able to do and make and create, and the downfalls for the year, to see what did I do at that time and how to not do it again next year. And the cool thing about reflection is that you're intuitively telling yourself the things you should be doing through reflection, right? Taking reflection and account for your life and how it is and where it is and what you're doing and all of that. It's all answers to the questions you're asking yourself. So for goals 2021, how do you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? Well, the answer lies in what you talk to yourself about. So when you reflect on things, you're essentially talking to yourself about the thing, or about whatever thing that needs to come out, right? So when you reflect, you have answers. And with those answers, you can make decisions. So most of the time people have a decision to make when they journal. They decide whether do I follow my intuition on doing this thing, or do I just stay safe and play small? And those are the two types of decisions we have to make every day. Do I continue to play small, or do I go and jump big and leap forward into this thing that my soul keeps telling me and asking me to do? And, for the longest time, I think I've always wanted to be what I do now, which is I'm a female women's empowerment coach. And I help women every day stand in their greatness, every day get clear on who they are, get clear on what they stand for, get clear on, remind them, kind of almost put up a mirror every day and ask them, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that you really want to create here? And one of the things I always ask is, what are you willing to sacrifice to make this thing happen? And most of the answers are always like, I'm willing to sacrifice the fear of judgment of other people, right? So how does that connect to, well, what am I doing for 2021, and how do I know it's what I'm doing for 2021 is the right thing. How do I know? Well, you'll know because number one, it feels good to you. Number two, it's not centered around pleasing other people, because really that's what it is. I think we're all kind of groomed to kind of please the community we're in, right? Like, let's say you're a part of a family and your family disowns you because you decided to go be an artist instead of be a lawyer. That would really stifle someone who really is seeking approval versus someone who really is just follows their heart and doesn't care about satisfying other people's, vision of themselves. So for 2021, what are you willing to do differently? Are you willing to go out there and branch out into something that other people may frown upon, but you feel really good about? Or are you going to do something that is a consistent thing that you've been doing your whole life, the safe thing, right? Now, there's no judgment on whether, to make ends meet, you have to do the safe thing. Totally get it. But don't ever give up on the dream of being something else. I remember there was a time where I was a receptionist at this place. It was this really wealthy, doctor's office. Rich people would only go there. I swear they were giving life liquid serums to make these rich people young, but it was super quiet and secretive. I was a receptionist, and I remember writing out on blank pieces of paper what I wanted to do with my life, because I just always had this inkling and calling that I had something bigger and better that I was supposed to do. And I wasn't sure what it was. And at the time I thought it was writing. I thought writing was going to be the thing for me. But writing actually was the vessel at which I found my confidence, because I wrote my first book when I became a mom and went through postpartum depression. I wrote my first book during that time, and that's when my creative juices started flowing out. And I noticed, wow, if I can write a book, I can do other things. If I can write a book and make an impact in that way, I can make an impact in other ways. So 10 years ago, 15 years ago, did I know that that was going to be the thing that catapult me into being a coach in my coaching business now? No. It's just an inkling. It always comes in an inkling form. So are you willing to go and follow your inkling? 2021. Following your inkling is like a gold mine. Tap into your inkling, guys, and really see where that vein of love and passion is rooted. It usually has this big bowl of gold. It's like a little baby vein. And then the vein of gold usually is really small, but you don't know where it leads you to until you tap into it and you kind of see the source of where that vein comes from. And that's where a lot of the power that you've been holding in, the potential you have, sits. And all of these things start flowing into your life. Money starts flowing into your life. Clients start flowing into your life. Ideas start spawning out of nowhere, where it's oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can, start attracting this way. Oh, I can help people this way, and you don't ever get there, though, if you don't entertain the little inkling that's been nudging you your whole life. So entertain the inkling. So back to the question, what is it that next year has in store for you? Does it feel good or does it not feel good? So that is it for today. I just wanted to jump on here and see how 2021 is going to be. Are you going to follow your inkling? Are you going to feel good about your decision that you decide on 2021 to be about? And what are you going to do about it if you journal and you find out it has to be completely a different thing that you're supposed to do? Are you going to step on it and do it? Or are you going to just sit on the fence and watch other people do it? Question. Food for thought, something to think about this week. I'm going to do a quick reading. So I've been doing these readings for my clients these past, a few days, and I feel like it's very insightful. Okay. So here are the cards. We're going to go ahead and shuffle them And these cards are Starseed Oracle cards. And I love these cards, you guys. Always insightful every time I get a card, even a reading for someone. It's like so amazing. It's like super magical and eye-opening. Okay, I asked the light to bless these cards and give us wisdom to move forward in the week. All right, here we go. Ooh, okay. So anybody's watching this needs to hear this. Obviously, there's a reason why I pulled this, but it's loosen your grip. Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. So whoever's watching, y'all somehow attracted this card to show up. I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to read about it in the book that the cards came with. So again, it's loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and then it ends with let God in. Very interesting. You are a cyclic being. I always look at that word and think, how do I say that word? We are cyclic beings. Cyclic, it's like circles. Like God, you guys, I'm so sorry. And Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we most need to let go of. The food, substances, the relationship, the job, the people pleasing. Ooh, didn't I just talk about people pleasing? The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space. The part we are most afraid of, to leave empty. The part we guard and don't let grace into. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us or clinging to it, for fear of it not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course in Miracles tells us, whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. So true, right? And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip and give up control, to release your coping mechanisms and leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosening your grip doesn't mean that what you're clinging to will go away. It may or may not, but you can be sure that what is for you will find you. And you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. Super exciting. So every time there's a reading, they give you a question prompt at the end. So the question is, what are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? Very, very profound. All right, guys, that is going to conclude today's live. Super interesting. If you guys are watching this, that means you somehow have manifested to learn about that card and that reading. Maybe you are clinging to something that you are not intentionally clinging on to. And to loosen the grip on that and have grace fill it in with whatever's supposed to be there. All right, guys, if you guys want to work with me in my Confident Businesswomen's Academy, send me a DM or send me a message below. All of my links are below. I'm so excited to have been able to do that with you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will see you guys again here in a couple of days. Mwah. Super hot.